Hey everyone, welcome back to the Force with Loot YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can tidy up your page layouts with the latest and greatest from Salesforce's Summer 21 release. This is dynamic forms. I'm also going to cover dynamic actions, which we can set up right within Salesforce. Let's jump over to the PC and I'll show you how you can set this up within minutes. So let's begin with dynamic forms. This is the latest release from Salesforce during the Winter 21 release. If you haven't got to grips with it yet, I'm going to show you how to set it up within Salesforce shortly. Now, there's one caveat to this, is that it only works for custom objects and doesn't currently support standard objects within Salesforce. So if you want to make these changes, it'll only work on your custom objects at the moment, although support for standard is due to be in the future. So let's jump over to Salesforce and I'll show you how you can set it up. I have here a custom object which I've created. I'm going to click into one of the records and we have the current Lightning page. It's fairly simple. I've set it up rather quickly. So to enable dynamic forms, we want to go to Setup in the top right. We want to click on Edit Page. Now this takes us to the Lightning App Builder. To enable dynamic forms, we want to click into Record Details. If you have this, it will probably be under the Details tab. It may be somewhere else on the page, but click into the component and then you'll have this section on the right which says Upgrade Now. If you click on that, we'll get some overview of what upgrading happens. So we can put fields and sections anywhere on the page. We can create sections and arrange fields directly in the Lightning App Builder, and we can show and hide sections and fields based on rules that you define. This is something which I'm going to go to in a bit more detail. You can skip this for next time, or you can press Next. You're going to choose which page layout you want to migrate. I only have one, and then press Finish. Now what this does, you'll see here, I now have individual control over each field on the page layout. And this gives us much greater control than the typical page layout does if you remember Salesforce Classic, or if you go in the back end of Salesforce and go to the page layout, then it doesn't have that much flexibility as we now have via the Lightning page. So what I'm going to do here is create 3 sections. One for project details, which is this one. And then I'm going to create 2 more sections. To do this, go to the Fields tab and then drag in your sections onto the page. It will highlight green when it shows where you can drop it. If you can't, then you'll get the red cross. And I'm going to call this one Milestones. This is going to be a 1 column. And the last one is going to be Project Completion. So I have 3 requirements here. This project details is going to display all the time. Milestones is only going to be visible to my project managers. And the project close section is only going to be visible when the project status equals completed. So I'm going to show you how I do that now. I'm going to drag these fields that I need into the diff section. So milestones goes into the milestone sections, and then completed date time down here. So now I've split it out: project details, milestones, and project completion. As I said, milestones only for project managers, project completion only on project status equals completed. So now with dynamic forms, we can click onto the section, which you can't do in the page layout, and we have this set component visibility. If I click add filter here, there's a range of options. So I can now conditionally show this section. We have record field, we have device, and we have advanced. So this one is record field, and I'm going to choose project status equals complete. And what that's going to do is search for the status, make sure it equals complete, and then if it does, it will display this section. If not, the section won't appear. Click done, and then it's as simple as that. We have a little orange eye here to show that it's conditionally available. Now milestones is slightly different. I only want my project managers with the project manager permission set to be able to access this section. Now this is a 1 column. I'm going to click add filter. Instead of record field this time, I'm going to go to advanced, click on select. In here underneath permissions, I can then click custom permission and then my project manager. And all this is a custom permission which is set up within the setup menu in Salesforce. I'll show you in a second. And once we do that, equals true, and that will now check if the project manager has that permission, and it will display the section accordingly. So very simple, very quick. You can show how we can go from a standard page layout to conditionally showing different sections based on different criteria very quickly and very easily. I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to go back to the page, and then let's have a look at what we've just done. So this project status is complete. So we have the project completion section showing. If I change this to in progress and then press save, the project completion section disappears, which is great. Now, my record, my user doesn't have the project manager permission set, so I can't see milestones. Let's go into Salesforce in the setup menu, top right. And then in the quick find, if we search custom permissions, then there's a section here. And I've set up project manager. It's very simple to set up. Just press new, give it a label, give it a name. And then if we go to permission sets, I've also set up a permission set for my project manager, which gives access to the projects. If it wants to load within Salesforce. There we go. And then project manager. And under here, there is a section for custom permissions. We click into that, and then we can edit and add other custom permission, which we just created, and add it here. So now that's going to check for that permission set and that custom permission to show that. Now, very quickly, let's go to our user. I'm going to search for my user. I'm going to go to permission set assignments, edit assignments, give myself the project manager permission set. Save. Now let's go back to our projects. Click into our amazing demo project, and we now have access to the milestones section. Very simple, very easy. So now let's take a look at dynamic actions. This is very much the same thing as dynamic forms and allows us to optionally display our certain actions on the record page, depending on things like record fields and permissions, the same as we just demoed with the dynamic forms. So let's jump back into our record, and again, back to setup, back to edit page, and then we'll be presented with the list of actions which we have currently. So this is great if you want to filter actions which call flows, for example. You only want a certain users to be able to use this flow, which is tied to your action, then this is a great use case. And to do this, go to the highlight panel and then click on upgrade now to dynamic actions. Same as we did with dynamic forms. You can choose to migrate or start from scratch. I'm going to migrate my existing actions I have on this object. I'm going to choose the page layout. And then you can see here now we have individual control over each of these actions. Now, much the same we did with the milestones, I'm going to take new opportunity and I'm going to add some visibility to this action. Go to advanced again, select permissions, custom permissions, project manager. Now, you guessed it. If you don't have the project manager permission set, you won't be able to see this action. So it's great if you have that scenario, which I just mentioned, you have certain users which need to access certain actions, then this is a great way to set this up within Salesforce. Instead of setting up like a validation rule or something which would just stop people from being able to click it, but they would still be able to see it, which isn't the greatest of user experiences. So I'm going to press done on this, and you can add other filters. I'm going to press done again, and I'm going to save the page. I just did it for one of these actions. You can do it for as many as you wish. This does work on custom objects as well as standard objects, just for your information. I'm going to go back to our record, and now we can see I have new opportunity. If I was to remove that permission set, I would no longer have access to this action. Hopefully this video has been useful. Hopefully you've learned something new, and hopefully Salesforce continue with these great updates going forward like we've seen in the Winter 21 release. If you're new to the channel, please like, please subscribe, and please turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my future videos. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.